Hey there, welcome or welcome back. If you're new to my channel, welcome to you. And my name is Katie, and this is Louisiana Cooking and Living, and it is springtime. And in springtime, it is crawfish season. So I thought we'd share a few crawfish recipes with you. We did a last spring after we had a crawfish boil. I had made some crawfish etouffee and turned it into crawfish pies. And I'll link that video. It's one of my first videos, so it's kind of rough. But I will link that in the cards up top. I think it's up here. It'll come up. And so I'll link that there for you guys. But we are going to make a crawfish and corn bisque tonight. It's actually an adaptation of a crab bisque that I have made. It's an Emeril Lagasse recipe that I'm going to do crawfish instead of the crab in it today. The crab bisque was super yummy, and I thought just adding the crawfish to it would be just super yummy also. So that's what we're going to be making today. And I guess we'll just go ahead and get started by chopping our vegetables. All right, so first thing I'm actually doubling this recipe. I will leave the recipe linked in the description box, but I am doubling this recipe because it only calls for a half a pound of crab meat, and we have a pound of crawfish tails. So first thing I'm going to do is chop some onion and some shallot. It's still cool enough outside to have a soup tonight, so I thought this is the perfect one to start with on our little crawfish festival we're going to have this spring. I have a few different crawfish recipes in mind to share with you guys. If you're not from Louisiana, have you ever had crawfish before? Do you like it? What do you think about it? Let me know. All right, it says we need a half a cup. All right, we need a little bit more because I am doubling this recipe. These onions are a little strong, getting to my eyes. All right, and here's our shallot, and it says we need 2 tablespoons, so 4 tablespoons is about 1/4 of a cup, so it's probably about the whole shallot here we'll chop. If you don't have a shallot, you can use some red onion here instead. So you can do a little fine dice on this. The only other thing we need is our garlic, and I'm just going to use the garlic press, so I don't need to do anything with this. I'm just chopping the stems off. It does call for celery. I don't have any celery, but I do have some homemade celery salt from celery leaves from the celery I grew last year, so that's what I'm going to use instead. My eyes are burning. All right, we're going to move to the stove and get this together. So typical crawfish bisque is different than this. A typical crawfish bisque would be a darker roux that we're going to make. And it also has like a crawfish dressing you would stuff into the crawfish heads, the shells of the crawfish, and you would serve the bisque along with that. But that's not what we're making today. We're just substituting the crab for crawfish, the crawfish instead of the crab in this recipe. It is cream based. So that's what we're making today. So it says to start off with 3 tablespoons of oil. I'm using butter to make it even more rich. So I need 6 tablespoons. So we're going to go about there. We're going to get this melted up and we're going to add some flour. Just making a roux here. And we are going to need 6 tablespoons of flour, which is about 1/3 of a cup. That's what we're going to go with. I'm going to whisk it so we don't have any lumps as this butter melts. And this, we're just doing a light roux, so we're not going to cook this for very long. We don't want a lot of color to it. We're not making a gumbo or an étouffée. We are making a cream-based soup, so we don't want it too dark. But we do want to cook the flourness out of it, the raw flour. All right, I think we've been cooking for about 5 minutes. And so at this point, I'm going to add my vegetables in. So I have my onions and my shallots. I'm going to crush my garlic into here. Now it says 1 tablespoon of garlic, but if you know me, we're doing more than that. I mean, I'm doubling the recipe, so we would do 2 tablespoons, but I'm probably doubling even that. So I'm probably doing even 4 tablespoons. All right, now we're going to add our corn in here. It's just 10 ounces of corn here. All right, it says 2 tablespoons of minced celery. I'm just going to, for now, put 1 teaspoon of the celery salt in here. Maybe we'll do about 1.5 teaspoons. A 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. I don't have any just cayenne at the moment, but I do have my Cajun seasoning. If you haven't checked out my Etsy store, I do sell this on there. It's mostly cayenne. It's not like your typical Cajun seasoning you buy at the store that's mostly salt and like either a paprika or chili powder. There's no paprika or chili powder in this. All the red you see in here is from cayenne, but it also has a lower sodium salt in it. I don't put an MSG on here. I use Himalayan pink sea salt in this. So that's going to depend on how salty, or not, sorry, how spicy you want it. But we're going to kick up that spice a little bit more in just a minute. Get these vegetables saute in here. All right, now that our onions are starting to get soft, we are going to add some, it calls for fish stock, but I had chicken stock in the fridge, and I I have some shrimp stock I've made, and I really been wanting to use it, but I had this chicken stock in the fridge, so I'm just going to use that. A cup of it, but I'm just going to, this is about 3 cups in here, and I'm just going to add all this because, of course, I'm doubling the recipe, so I'm only going a cup more. So we're going to add that. I know I'd say it all the time, recipes are just to go by, unless you're doing something like baking where you kind of have to follow a recipe because of the science of it. The basic recipe. Of course, you can adjust it here and there. So now, so this is cream base, so we're about to add that. We're going to add a couple of bay leaves to this. Bring this up to a boil. Now we're going to add, this is going to kick up our little spice and make it taste like this crawfish has been boiled in a crawfish boil. This is store-bought crawfish tails, Louisiana crawfish tails, but this is shrimp and crab boil or crawfish boil. It's just a liquid. We're going to pour a little bit of this in there. I'm going to put like 2 capfuls. All right, turn my heat down. And now we're going to add in our milk and cream. I'm going to do about 3 cups of milk. And then the same amount of cream. If you have half and half, you could just do 6 cups because half and half is half cream, half milk. This is some super thick, heavy whipping cream. All right. Make it nice and rich. All right, so we're going to let this simmer for about 30 minutes before we add our crawfish tails to. Actually, you know what? With the crab meat, that's what you would want to do, but with the crawfish, we can go ahead and add that. We don't have to wait. You just don't want your crab meat to break up if you are putting the crab in here. So we are going to put our crawfish tails in here so they can absorb some of that yummy goodness. So this is how the crawfish comes to the store. If you get the certified Cajun, this means these were farmed here in Louisiana. They do sell a lot of crawfish from China, but you want to make sure if you're buying some, look for that Louisiana symbol there. This is a pound of crawfish tails. Just pour these in. All right, while this simmers, I'm gonna get some garlic bread together and some salad, and we'll see you back when it's ready to taste test. All right, so our soup is ready. I did add some more salt to it. I never added salt originally except for the celery salt, so I did add some more salt to it. And the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add some calls for green onions. And in the garden, when you're growing onions, you have to trim the onion tops off of them to force the energy into the onion bulb so it can grow bigger. So I have a bunch of, trimmed onion tops that I'm gonna just use these. They have onion flavor, garlic tops you could use for garlic flavor. And I'm just gonna snip these in here just for a last minute garnish. This is kind of spicy, so if you're making this and you're not into the spice, maybe cut back on how much crab oil you put in there or just skip that altogether. My husband and kids will love the spice in it though, so that's fine for us. We'll do a little bit more. serve up our bowl. It's rich. The corn, the sweet corn comes through. So yummy. Not sure where my husband got these bowls. Probably at a thrift store. I have two different ones. And I wasn't sure. I thought these are like Northeast oysters companies, but if you look closely on them, it says packed in Avery Island, and then it has, well, one of them has Tabasco on it. Yeah, this is the Tabasco company here. So these are my Louisiana soup bowls here. There we go. We'll give it a taste test. All right, so we have our soup. I did make a quick Caesar salad, but I added some extra things to it. I had some cooked bacon, some toasted almonds, some cucumbers need to be used up, some feta cheese. And something else I like to do is I'll slice some French bread pretty thin, do some garlic butter on it, and then toast it so it's crispy, and serve that alongside of this because you can dip with it. It's really good. So we're going to give this a taste test now. All right, let's give this a try. See all the steam, it's so hot. All the corn, the crawfish, you can see it. That garlic bread in there is so good, y'all. Get a little sip of my sweet tea since it's a little spicy. All right, I hope y'all give this recipe a try. If you've tried crawfish before and you like it, let me know the way you've eaten it, or if you don't like it, let me know why, because we can't imagine not eating crawfish around here. So if you hit subscribe, if you haven't subscribed already, we'd really appreciate that, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.